this is what's going to happen to you if you don't have your paperwork in order. You will have a lawsuit on your hands.
And how do you find with respect to the charge?
Guilty.
You don't want that. When you sell a car, it's not going to matter what state you reside in or preside over. There are going to be plaintiff lawyers everywhere, like a red-tailed hawk. Whoop in.
This hawk goes for the kill on the fly.
In order to get one of these for your customer, you have got to present the proper paperwork in order to register the vehicle. And that's what we're going to talk about today, and of course, do the actual transaction. So how do we start? Well, we start by basically giving them the first order of business, which is the buyer's order. The buyer's order is nothing more than proof of ownership or temporary thereof. The buyer's order, that breaks down the numbers. What did you pay for the car? What is the interest? What is all that good stuff? That's all there in that document there. Next up is the odometer statement. You got to have one of those. Every state's going to be a little different on its paperwork, but this is the agenda basically that you'll follow. And by the way, I've taken the liberty of putting all of this down below. You'll see that in the comment section. You'll never be in the blank. You'll always know what to have and how to fill these out. We'll get that in detail at some point a little bit later. This is just a little scuff of what you need, but the detail is very important. That's going to keep the lawyers off your back. Next up is the emissions. Not every state, not every county requires one of these, but if you do reside in a county that has an emissions, you'll need to get an emissions. Now, why do we have to do that, Steve? Well, it's a courtesy. It's about a $14 charge in our state, but it's a courtesy to the customer. You don't want the customer really to have to do anything. You want to provide a service. You're only doing this 4 or 5 times a year maybe, so it's pretty easy to get the emissions. Get the emissions before the customer delivers in the car. Next up is going to be, this is a very important one, a damage disclosure. That form basically lets you let the customer know, has there been any damage? If you've been following our track along, you would have seen in our links below, we had in one of our videos where you could actually find a Carfax or an auto check, as we like to use them, and be able to see what there's any damage reported by a third party to that vehicle. Well, we go a little beyond that. We basically could have a field inspector come out and do an inspection. We could do one ourselves, but bottom line is we need to disclose if there is any imperfections of frame or alterations of any sort. That needs to be disclosed, and that's the form we use. The next one up is the GPS disclosure. We're going to have a video completely on GPS. Matter of fact, that's our next video right up there. Yeah, you're going to find a tool that will track that collateral of yours. Yeah, you want to know where it is at 24/7. But the disclosure for that is this form here. You have to disclose if you got one in there. You have to. You can't just put one in there and say, oh, where are they going now? No, you can't do that. They have to know that you know where they're going, okay? Next up is the title. That has got to be properly filled out. That is going to be state to state as well. If you have a out-of-title state, there will have to be an inspection, what they call an out-of-state VIN inspection on that vehicle. Next up is the power of attorney. That's pretty simple. That does have to be notarized, but that basically lets you alter or can alter anything to do with the paperwork of registration only. You can't take their kids. You can't take their home. Power of attorney is basically just for the registration process only, but that form is also needed. Next up, they're going to need a proof of insurance. Now, they're going to want to insure the vehicle for the vehicle, obviously, and making you as lien holder. So, God forbid, if there is a catastrophic event happening to that collateral of yours, you have protection and it's on record as the lien holder. You will be paid first and foremost before the customer will. Next up is the Federal Buyer's Guide. This has to hang in the window of the vehicle that you're selling. Yeah, you're not a dealer, but you do have to disclose everything. It's in that form there. The feds take care of everything. It's a very simple form, but it hangs in the window. Next up is a driver's license, or, now pay close attention, state ID. It's very possible they can have a state ID and not a driver's license. Our state allows both. Some states, driver's license only. It just depends, but you have to have a driver's license. And then the last one is going to be the application for title. That will allow you to get one of these for the grand finale. You'll be putting that on their car to make it all legal. So that's a legal transaction, how you want to keep the attorneys off your back, how you want to properly do all the paperwork. Now, if you like what you've seen so far, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, because I'm going to share a story with you. What happens if she gets a new boyfriend in Florida and they go to Florida without you knowing it? Will you know it? That's the question, and that's the answer that we'll provide on the next video. You don't want to miss it. In recap, you can get every single one of these documents that I went through in the comment section pinned below. You'll just hit that comment section. It'll be marked documents. That'll have everything that I described here in detail. So what makes us an expert in this field? Well, 22 years, and up there in the corner, you're going to see a Google 5.0 rated dealership with almost 500 reviews. So what we have over a period of 5 years is over 400, almost 500 people saying, wow, that dude knows what he's doing.